this is Scott, and this is the Hyper Report. Here are the quotes for various items. First, drachma plans. Facing a default to the IMF or their own people, the left-wing Grecian government is drawing up plans to give the one-finger salute to the IMF. It's simply a no-brainer as they are planning to nationalize the country's banking system and return to the drachma. Needless to say, this is going to cause economic shockwaves throughout the global Ponzi economies. Next, Australian deposit tax? Interest rates on bank deposits in most developed nations are practically zero, if not already negative. So when and not if the government of Australia, followed by the governments in Europe and the US, start to tax bank deposits, this will push rates into or further into negative territory. Remember, taxes start small and increase over time. Next, jobs and GDP. In March, the U.S. economy created just 126,000 jobs when it was expecting 245,000. This resulted in the all but fraudulent unemployment rate holding steady at a bogus 5.5%. In addition, the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta reported that its forecast for U.S. GDP growth dropped to 0% on April 1st. And that was no April Fool's Day joke. Since blaming the weather for the bad economy is getting old and less believable, perhaps central planners will begin blaming the Russians or the Chinese in order to start a war? Next, stocking up. One of the biggest stories in the alternative media for the past few years was the massive purchase of ammo by the Department of Homeland Security. Now, another request for less lethal specialty munitions such as flash and gas grenades and rubber bullets has been made by that criminal cabal. What do the feds know that we don't? Next, target Yellowstone? A retired Russian military analyst believes that Russia could completely annihilate the U.S. by detonating nuclear weapons over the Yellowstone supervolcano and the San Andreas Fault. The explosion of Yellowstone would unleash volcanic ash all over the U.S. and cause a worldwide disaster. This is mutual assured destruction or mad strategy on a shoestring budget. Next, Kerry and the Nobel Peace Prize. Because of John Frankenstein Kerry's Neville Chamberlain-like negotiations in the Iran deal that the translated version didn't match Obama's claims, gee, I'm shocked. Anyway, some are talking about him being a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves it at least as much as Jimmy Carter, Yasser Arafat, or even Barry Hussein Obama. Perhaps because Hillary is increasingly looked upon as damaged goods, he may be even selected or run for president. Finally, please prepare now for the escalating economic and social unrest. Good day.